Hi, I'm Leon Rosinski, and in this video I'm continuing with the theme of how things have changed in our lives since industrialization compared to how our ancestors used to live and how they used to thrive in very difficult conditions. Now, to continue with that theme, I still want to always say that let's not romanticize the lives of our ancestors. They lived very difficult lives, and we have a lot of wonderful modern benefits to the Industrial Revolution and our modern living. But lots of things have changed which have affected our health rapidly, and it's very important for us as humans to take the best of what we have and also take the best of what our ancestors did in order to create healthy, robust bodies and health for ourselves, mentally, physically and spiritually, and also to be able to provide that to our offspring, to our children, and for generations to come. So one of the really big differences that happen, which most people don't really take into account, is the development of electricity and the access to electricity. So obviously before that, our ancestors didn't have electricity. So using things, easy cooking and refrigeration was a big difference. So yes, they were able to cool things down and keep things cooler for longer, but what they did instead was, number one, they ate much more fresh. Number two, they preserved a lot more. So their meats, they fermented, or they smoked, or they cured. And their vegetables and fruits, they would eat them fresh, and then they would then ferment them. They would cure them, they would preserve them through the winter. And so what you gain from fermentation and preservation is a pre-digestion of the food, making it a lot easier to digest on our very simple digestive systems. On top of that, you get a extraction of much more nutrients through the fermentation process. Just for example, sauerkraut has 20 times more vitamin C in it than before it was fermented as cabbage. And so there's a huge amount of nutrients that are coming out through fermentation. And the third thing is a huge abundance of enzymes, acids like lactic acids, and really interesting bacteria, healthy bacteria. And so what's changed over the years since we have access to fresh food, and we can put them in the fridge and we can then eat them fresh without fermentation, and also with canning, is that we've lost that the digestibility and the health benefits and the protection from those traditional food practices. So as I say, we should always mimic what our ancestors did. And remember, they never ate grains raw, and they never ate all nuts and seeds unfermented or unsprouted or uncooked. And most vegetables have been hybridized, so we don't actually have, what we eat today is very different to what people ate, our ancestors ate. And fruits have been very differently produced and hybridized as well to be much sweeter. But obviously through the winter, post-season, everything was fermented. Grains were always sprouted or fermented or leavened like that way, like sourdough as we see them today. And so we should look at increasing the volume in our diets of smoked foods, fermented foods, specifically vegetables and fruits, fermented beverages. Dairy products were primarily fermented. Rarely did we have access to fridges where we could keep milk fresh for longer. Pasteurization was not done in those days. So things like cheeses, things like yogurt, lassi, kefir, water kefirs, kombuchas, and tons of other fermented foods. All our ancestors fermented most of their foods. As I said, it's lost dramatically in our modern culture, and it's causing what's one of the reasons why we're having a loss in our health through digestion, through absorption and utilization of our of nutrients, and how these acids and these enzymes and these bacteria support and protect healthy living. So go into your fermented foods, explore, taste them. They will taste a bit weird in the beginning, sour, a bit off for what we're used to tasting, but once we get used to them, our bodies thrive on them. Thank you.